this is kind of my first research experience. So I'm still kind of figuring out what I'm doing, but I've also done a lot in my past to kind of get me to where I am now. So I was going to tell you a little bit about that. This is my path as a marine scientist. And so a little bit about myself. I am going to be a junior at CSUMB, and so I have a marine science major, and I'm also minoring in chemistry, because I really like chemistry. I'm also interested in ocean acidification, which is what I'm actually researching. And I get to work with abalone, which is really cool. It's the first time I've ever seen abalone, so that's always fun. I've also had this really unique experience where I've lived on a tall ship, so this ship over here. I lived on that for 6 months, and I taught people your age or younger, marine science or marine biology. We sailed to Catalina, and I would do that for 2 summers, and it was amazing. And so that was kind of how I found out that I wanted to teach. I also like public speaking. I like telling people about my path and why I'm so passionate about what I want to be a marine biologist or a marine scientist and help out in any way I can. And I really am passionate about conservation, which is why I'm really excited to speak to you today. And then I also, my time in Catalina, I was able to see the way it was changing. Oh.
Kind of touched
to my dad. So I was able to see how it was changing. So in 2008 was my first ship or research experience kind of on a ship, and it was a summer camp, just like this is. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, I missed it. No, that's not. Oh, okay. I really don't like technology. Anyway, so in 2008, I was going into high school, back in the day, and I found out that marine science was my calling. It was this amazing world that I never knew about. And I had people like me talk to a group of young people. I know it's kind of weird saying like that wording, but I had role models to show me that marine science is this really cool field that not many people know about. We need more people in science, especially women in science, which I'm very proud to be. And then the changing ecosystems. I saw Catalina. It used to be this amazing place. There was so much diversity. And now I went this past summer for like a 3-day trip just because I wasn't able to spend my entire summer there. And there used to be sea stars everywhere, and there are no sea stars now. And I can't find, I think I found one sea hare. And it's really sad to see how our ecosystem is changing in a place I once loved to go and just hang out and pick things up and try to figure out why everything's so interconnected. And to see all of that kind of vanish, it was very alarming. So that was when I found out that I would really like to work with conservation and try to figure out how to save our oceans in any way possible. So here's a picture of me at Catalina holding a horn shark. We caught it for Shark Week, actually. So that was a real life Shark Week. And here's a picture of a blue whale, and it was very cool. It was the first blue whale I've seen. So my path. I am an undergraduate at CSU Monterey Bay, and I've had a freshman year and sophomore year behind me. So I've done a lot of things in my time. I don't take a traditional route. There is no such thing as a traditional route because everyone has a different path, and it's so there's so many things to do that take advantage of instead of just going through college just focused on classes is not as enriching as doing different experiences. Like I'm on a sailing team, and I learned how to scuba dive, which is amazing. And I also spend my time in the water, and I travel a lot. I really like to travel. This is a picture of me at one of my happiest moments in Costa Rica during spring break. The wind was insane, and I was on top of a tower, and I was terrified, but it was so cool. And so I think traveling to different places and pushing your limits is a way to really open up and figure out how far you can go, because you never know how far you can go until you actually try. So those are one of the things that I really am interested in. Oh, no, not again. It's okay. I like talking for a while on slides. This is just going to be a thing that will happen. Okay. And then campus involvement. If you are, some people are psychology majors, they want to be psychologists or they're interested in psychology, and some people are interested in marine science. It's really good to do different experiences with different disciplines or in different fields. So I actually was an RA in my college, last year. I was an RA, or resident advisor, that's what it means. Resident advisor, and so I was in charge of, well, I wasn't in charge. I was living with a group of 45 students who were freshmen, and they were new to the area. they kind of need someone to help them along, and I was that person for them. And it was amazing, because that's kind of a social science thing, and I'm a marine scientist, so it was kind of weird to do that, but it was really enriching, and I now have people skills from that. And it was just, I was able to help out others in more ways than just following a marine science path. So I really encourage people to try different things. No.
Do you want to go to the next picture or anything? Or do you want to talk about this more?
Just one little thing. So it says graduate school for marine conservation. I'm looking forward to the future a lot, and I want to go to graduate school for marine conservation. And I want to earn a PhD, and I want to be able to teach people. I want to be a professor. So that is one of the things that I'm looking forward to. And so speaking with you was actually one of my first times speaking about myself. So this is a little new, but I really like it. And I'm just trying to help the world any way I can. I hope that's what the next slide says.
Just change it to like 30 minutes.
Is it about what you're researching right now?
Oh, it probably is what I've learned.
What
What I've learned.
It's really good. Okay, sorry, hopefully that was.
No, thank you so much. Okay, so what I've learned. So my experience sailing on the ship and living in Catalina and working with other people who are also interested in marine science, I've learned that we are people of great things, and we also directly impact our oceans. So I talked before about how the ecosystem changed in Catalina, and seeing that was very eye-opening, and so now I have this experience and I can tell people about how we are really affecting our oceans, and it's an uphill battle. It's always going to be a struggle trying to let people know about how we are affecting our world, and our ocean is very important. I mean, take a minute to think about the ocean, and like everything it inhabits, and some people don't really understand that how important it is. Imagine the Earth without the ocean. It looks like Mars. So the ocean is our life source, our life support. And if we don't have that, we don't take care of that, then we don't have anything. And our ocean is very important. It's suffering right now because of our we don't really give it as much attention as we should. So I'm still struggling to educate people about that, and there's always going to be people who don't really want to change their ways, who think differently, and that's okay, but it's also important to never give up trying. And so with that, I think that we have the chance to make a difference. It's not too late, and I have always worked every day in some way to save the world. If it's turning off the water during a shower, or when you brush your teeth, don't let the water run, stuff like that. And just little bits throughout the day can help make a huge difference. And then I just have cool pictures. Like this is Point Lobos. I think you're all familiar with Point Lobos. It's a very beautiful area. So this is protected. This is during a dive that we just did. It was pretty awesome. And does anyone know what a sea hare is?
Yeah.
They're the greatest. They're my favorite. They're about like this big, and they can get bigger, way bigger. But they're these really squishy animals. They're actually mollusks, so that means they have a shell and a soft body. So it doesn't look like they have a shell. So it's just like this huge slug, and they're so cute. If you ever go in the ocean and find a sea hare, just touch it. Just try to, yeah. Oh, don't touch it. Sorry. They're really cool though. They also ache, so don't touch it. Okay, so my research at MBARI. It's much like this. I'm researching ocean acidification, and does anyone know what ocean acidification is? Have you heard of it? No. Does anyone know the process? Like why it's happening or what we're doing to affect it? No?
They know.
They do.
You do?
Okay,
Tell us.
they're
Let
like
anyone
Give
they
us
know.
the gist.
Yeah, just the gist.
Carbon dioxide is a salt in water. It's a chemical reaction that forms carbonic acid and maple gas.
Perfect.
All right.
That's very good, thank you. So basically said, the carbon dioxide is absorbed by the ocean. The ocean acts as a sponge. And I'm so happy you all know this already because I have to go into a lot of details sometimes. But this is basically what happens: carbon dioxide, carbonic acid, and then the pH goes down, and carbon dioxide is increased, right? And that means there's not that much oxygen left anyway. So my research is actually focused on upwelling and how this acidic water in the darker areas, the deep ocean, this is what Jesse's working on. So the deep ocean waters are very low pH and low or anoxic, so they don't have that much oxygen. And that water is brought up to nearshore coastal ecosystems where these lovely animals are staying, abalone, among many other organisms, but I'm actually researching abalone. So that water, the low oxygen and low pH, is brought to the ecosystem and the animals are bathed in this water. And we're figuring out, well, I'm researching if it is detrimental to their growth or their health. So our research so far says yes, it is. And I'm researching how it affects the developmental rate. So I actually spawn abalone. I'm actually doing that Thursday. I have 14 abalone in MBARI, just getting ready for an experiment. And I will take their eggs and their gametes and then make baby abalone. That's what I do. It's very fun. So here's some pictures. I don't like to have many words on slides because visuals are better. So these are a few of our abalone. This guy's huge. He's 330 grams, which is amazing. Normally this one's like 100 grams. So a really big guy. He's my favorite though. So here is an abalone egg. It's under the microscope. It's kind of hard to see. But this one's unfertilized, so it was an unsuccessful one. But it was still really interesting and fascinating to see. Here we have a process happening. So we're filling up glass syringes with treatment water, so low pH and low oxygen. And it's a process that we have to be very careful with because if it's exposed to any oxygen in the air, then it changes the chemistry, which is very hard to work with. But it's also really exciting. And then here we have like a soccer goal net for the abalone. It was really weird to build, but this is where they were put after our experiment, and this thing just went down on top so they wouldn't escape, but it was fun. So this is in the lab. And in the field, we do really cool things. This isn't even my topic. I am working on a CTD with Z, and it means something.
Conductivity, temperature,
and depth. Okay, so this thing, CTD, it goes down the water column to so many depths, 200 feet, 500
meters.
500 meters. Yes, very deep. And so we take samples throughout the entire water column, and we test the levels of temperature, conductivity, so many other things. So that was really interesting, and I've never done that before. So this was on the Rachel Carson and Bari's boat. It's
We use
amazing.
it to collect water at different depths.
Yeah, and I really like boats, in case you couldn't tell from my past. So this was really exciting. And then people also point scientifically at computers. This is actually Z, and one of our other interns. So they were looking at something really cool, or they said, let's just point for the picture. I'm not sure which, but yeah. So, why is conservation important? I love talking about abalone and why they're important because they have a huge history. Does anyone know the history of abalone back here in County Row? We were right on historic ground. It's perfect. So back in the day, in the 1960s through the beginning of the century, this was a huge abalone farm, well, abalone fishery, yeah, abalone fishing row. So this is empty abalone shells, and there were so many of them. And now, after all of that time for fishing, they have become critically endangered. And the black abalone is critically endangered. You can't really find them in the wild, which is terrible, and I'm working to help recover their population. So that's one of the reasons why I'm working with abalone. And so your part, you can help now because we have the perfect time to educate others about the important area we live in. So abalone are a huge fishery species, and so that's something that I'm interested in. But it's also important to just take the time and pick up trash on the beach if you see it. That's what I do. Whenever I go to the beach, I pick up at least some trash, like 2 pieces, or as much as I see. But I think it's very important to keep your passion. Are you all passionate about something? Is
They're on the wall over there. Those are their sparks.
Man, this is great.
Just a few.
Just
They're deep individuals and many. Quite sparkly.
It's great. I love this group. passion on the ship that I used to work on, and I've been doing this ever since. And have you ever heard of that saying, if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life?
No,
Completely
that's
true. I wake up every day and I'm so excited. And it's not work to me, it's saving the world. I really love what I do, and it's partly because I'm following my passion. So that's something that I would really like you to all take to heart, is to follow your passion and also ignite passion in others. If you talk about something passionately, they get excited. And it's a great way to give people information about the ocean. And so everything on this planet is interdependent. We all rely on each other, and the ocean relies on us. We rely on the ocean heavily. And so we need to protect it. And that is something that I'm working on, and I hope you all continue to inspire others. Because this is an inspiring group. I mean, not a lot of people have this opportunity. And I didn't even have this opportunity. If I was your age, I would do this in a heartbeat. So I just hope you use this opportunity to the full advantage and just inspire others. And also educate. Like, education is important beyond belief. I wouldn't be here I wouldn't be here now if I didn't have the education I had. And the more you learn, the more excited, I get excited when I learn about new things. So I think education is very important, and to also educate others. So this is Follow Your Passion. This is sea hair, by the way, at Lover's Point. I went diving and I found a sea hair that's this big, and it was so cute. So that was the face. That's also me teaching other students about sea stars. We have a knobby sea star and a purple sea urchin, and they're very interesting, and I could talk to them, or talk about them for forever, but I will not, because other people have to present. But, yeah, okay, and this is my inspirational slide. Always remember to follow your passion, be bold. If you're not bold, you don't know what you can do. You have so many opportunities that you can just ask. The worst thing that can happen is people say no. So I actually wouldn't be here if I wasn't bold in asking for opportunities. So always be bold. Spread the word of conservation, very important. Let other people know what's happening. And then never lose your curiosity, because curiosity is kind of the driving force behind a lot of science, or all of science really. It's always ask questions, which is why I love this quote. The best scientists and explorers have the attributes of kids. They ask questions and have a sense of wonder. They have curiosity, who, what, where, why, when, and how. And they never stop asking questions, by one of my favorite role models, Sylvia Earle. And so, yeah, just never lose your curiosity. It's one of the most important parts of you. And then making mistakes is crucial, because you don't know what works and what doesn't work if you don't make mistakes. This is an example of me making a mistake. I was on a paddleboard, and I wanted to do that cool handstand because I saw a lot of people do it. So I was like, okay, I'll try it. That's what happens. So, yeah. But it's fun. I don't regret it. It's a great time. Plus, the water was refreshing. And that is it.
Do you guys have any questions for her really quick? Before we...
I don't think. Yeah. You, no. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Madison.
Yeah.
Was it hard to see this coaching?
No.